What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Pops to Handle. I'm your host, Andrew Nucatola, your pop culture best friend. And as always, I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. Happy July 9th to all of my Taylor girls out there. I guess when you're listening to this, it's July 10th and on, but when I'm recording, it is July 9th. So if you know, you know, you guys know I am a Speak Now girly. So July 9th, it's a big day for us Speak Now girls. So hope you are all celebrating accordingly. That being said, it is July 9th, which means we just got out of our 4th of July 4-day weekend, and my God, did I need it. I know I said it last week, how excited I was rather for the weekend. I didn't realize how bad I needed that time off until I was editing the episode back last week. There were things in the episode that I was like, when did I say that? Where did that come? Like, usually I'm pretty good when if you don't know, I record on Tuesdays, I edit it Tuesday night, and it is up on Wednesday. Like, I am a man of business. I have no time to waste. I need to speak to the people. So it is hot off the press. I finish recording, I edit it, and I post it almost immediately. So it is a very, it's a quick turnaround. I don't know why I do it to myself. I work best under pressure, I guess. It is what it is. But so last Tuesday when I recorded, I was editing the episode and I was like, what the hell was I saying? Like, typically Tuesday nights, I'm able to take notes during the episode while I'm editing it. And I don't edit much. It really is just like, if I have a pause, if I drink a sip of water, like things like that. It's nothing crazy. Last week, I'm going to expose myself. I recorded for 2.5 hours because the words were just not, they were in my head, but they could not come out of my mouth right. And I'm usually, I talk fast. I jumble my words here and there. Like, it is what it is. Last week was like no other. I literally, like I said, I recorded for 2.5 hours. The episode was 45 minutes. 45 minutes of usable content last week, if that needs any indication of where I'm at. I usually record for like an hour and 15, maybe an hour and a half tops, and I usually cut it down to like an hour. That's normal. To record for 2.5 hours and get 45 minutes, I was like, am I okay? Clearly, I was not. So this 4th of July weekend, it was very much needed. We had some Long Island time. We went to Westchester for a bit. We spent some time in the city. Like, it was a very good mix of in and out of the city. I am not opposed to staying in the city for holidays. I've said it before, holiday weekends are empty in Manhattan, which is honestly the best time to be in Manhattan. So I'm cool with staying in the city, but it's also nice to get a breather here and there, And I feel like we did a really good job of being in the city a little bit, being out of the city a little bit. It was just gorgeous, nothing too crazy. If you saw on Instagram, I decided I was celebrating Jennifer Coolidge on the 4th of July and not America because I'm just I'm not vibing with the country right now. And I was like, who better than to celebrate and honor on the 4th of July than makes you want a hot dog real bad, Jennifer Coolidge. You know what I mean? I was like, if we're going to have a day to celebrate something and I'm not vibing with it, I'm officially declaring 4th of July National Jennifer Coolidge Day. Get with it or get lost. Over here at Two Pop the Handle, we will be celebrating herstory, not history. And I just think that's the momentum I have going forward. You know what I mean? This country's kind of doomed. We're kind of fucked. So we might as well just have fun and celebrate what we want because who knows what we're going to be allowed to celebrate in the next coming year or so. It's scary. It's terrifying. Google Project 2025 if you haven't yet. I apologize for the night terrors you're going to have, but just educate yourself. But we're not going to go down the political route. No. We're not doing that. We are a place, this is an exciting, a fun, a lighthearted podcast. We are here to have fun, girls being girls, chit chat, catch up. And I witnessed something over the weekend. I have 2 little tidbits from the weekend that really just were pivotal moments to me, and I was like, I need to talk about them in the podcast because first and foremost, on our way back on Sunday from Westchester, we were taking the train coming back to our apartment, and I was looking around and I was noticing that more than usual, everyone's always obviously on their phone, but more people were in their phone deeper than they usually are. And I was like, God damn, what are they looking at on TikTok? What tweet are they reading? What thread did they just find? And then I'm looking around and I'm noticing a lot of Pokemon gear, Pokemon hats, shirts, backpacks. People had I saw one guy with 2 phones and 2 wires going into a book bag, charging them. And it hit me. I had this Deja Vu by Beyonce moment. I was like, oh my God, they're playing Pokemon Go, which I feel like if you're listening to this, knowing my age demo, we all know or were playing Pokemon Go in 2016, it was like the most united our country has ever been. And I did some research. Apparently, this is the 8th year, I believe, the anniversary of a Pokemon Go coming out. And there was a Pokemon Go festival on Randall's Island that once it ended, everybody kind of dispersed into Manhattan. I it was beautiful. It was truly a moment of like, wow, this is what it's like to be a united nation and part of something. And seeing people playing Pokemon Go, it just gave me this nostalgia that I didn't even know was possible because realistically, it was a fad for me. Just like everybody else, I jumped on the bandwagon, played Pokemon Go for a summer, deleted the app off my phone, never thought about it again. I didn't realize it was like still alive and thriving, and seeing all of these people playing it, I was like, wow, there is a glimmer of hope. There is some type of unity in our country, and I just think that's beautiful. So I guess Pokemon Go is back. I don't know if it's like gonna have a full comeback like 2016. People were out in the streets playing Pokemon Go in 2016. Like it was nuts. And I honestly, in this election year, in this year of like, what the fuck is gonna happen? I feel like Pokemon Go coming back is the perfect way to just kind of soften the blow of whatever is going to happen come November. It was just beautiful. I loved it. I was like, wow, this is what dreams are made of. Once again, we are just dreamers over here at Too Pop to Handle. And then my weekend quickly took a turn because I did something so out of character for a gay man. I went to Home Depot, and now I know what you're thinking. You're an adult, you have an apartment. Like, yeah, okay, people go to Home Depot. It's like not a safe space for gay men. You know what I mean? Like it is and it isn't. I feel like you can go to if you go to Home Depot, that's when like you put your straight voice on. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, where are the screws? Where's the hammers at? Me trying to be straight right now, asking where the screws and hammers are. Like clearly Home Depot is not my territory, but Thomas had gone to Home Depot. He had to pick up a few things, and when he got back, he realized he was missing something, and he went all the way down. I was like, you know what? Let me get off my ass. Let me get outside. Let me go. I'll go for you. You start your project. I'll go downtown. I'll go to Home Depot and we will, I'll pick it up for you. Let me get some fresh air. I get on the bus. I make my way down to Home Depot, and he's like, when you go down the escalator, it is literally going to be directly on your left-hand side next to the garden center. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I know this Home Depot. I've been there plenty of times with him. Like I know exactly what I need and where I'm going. I get down the escalator. I see my aisle. The item I needed, nowhere to be found. Literally, there was a whole shelf of where it should have been, and like it made sense that it would have been there. Wasn't there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Guess we're going on a mission. So I get on my phone and I start like looking. My phone's on 2%. So I'm like, okay, sick. I'm like speed typing. I'm like, all right, I have Twitter fingers for a reason. Type faster, get into it, figure out where the hell this item is, and get to the aisle. So I find the aisle. I walk through. Mind you, this store is huge. Like, it's just like Home Depot was truly like, it's like in The Lion King when Simba asks Mufasa what's over there, and it's like the Dark Land. Like that's how I felt. I am so out of my comfort zone right now, but I am going to get the item that I am here for. I'm not going home empty-handed. Like I'm not a quitter. I'm a lot of things, but I will not quit on a task. I find the aisle, I go find it, I get to where I have to go, and of course, before I left, Thomas, logical thinker, says, oh, why don't you take a photo of what you need so you remember what it is when you go? I was like, no, I'll be fine. I wasn't. I get to the aisle and I'm standing there in front of 50 different variations of the thing I needed. I needed like a sealant to like seal like holes in a wall or like gaps in like cabinets. We live in New York. Bugs happen. You gotta seal it up here and there. So we needed some sealant. So I get to the area and there is a sealant for every temperature, for every type of like, for wood, for paint, for marble, for this, for that. If you've ever watched Broad City, if you remember the episode where Jaime has to go to the frozen yogurt shop to get Abby frozen yogurt, and he's there all day long and has like a panic attack inside, just trying every single type of yogurt. That is how I felt in this Home Depot trying to find a sealant. I had 2% battery. I had no idea what I needed to get. And I was like, well, if I would have just taken the goddamn photo, I would have known what I needed. But of course, I'm a know-it-all. I was like, no, I'll remember. I know what I need. Luckily, Thomas, cell phones do exist. He was like, get this one, you're good. I secured the bag. We were good to go. But I was just like, who do I think I am going to a Home Depot by myself? Like, that's man behavior. And that's just like not for me. So you know what? I did it. I conquered it. I did what I had to do, but I'm never going back there again. No, I'm good. I'll stick to Michael's. Send me to an H&M, send me to a record store, send me to get like candy, pastries, like something cute, girly, fun. You will not catch me in a Home Depot alone again. I'll go with somebody. I'll be a companion. I'm a great companion in a Home Depot. Really, anywhere. I'm like so much fun. But alone, absolutely not. I was a lost puppy walking through this straight man abyss. It was terrifying. That being said, let's move on with the show. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about this week. I was writing my outline and I was like getting giddy, putting everything down. I was like, oh my God. Also, so much happened today that I was like, how am I going to fit this all into an hour-long podcast episode? So, of course, I just took 15 minutes at the beginning of the episode to talk about myself because, like, what else do I do? That being said, let's kick the show off like we always do with our Drew releases. We're going to talk about our new music from last week, our new music from this week, and it's shady boots if you are up to date on Stan Twitter with what's going on with these two releases. So first off, we always start with our releases from last week, and last week we had one release and one release only, but it was small but mighty. It was a single, but it was a big one. It was Kesha's comeback single as an independent artist, as a free woman, Joyride. And let me just tell you, fun pop music is so back. I love this song. It is so much fun. It is so good. It is going to go crazy in a gay club at 2 a.m. I cannot wait. I can like feel the sweat dripping off my forehead, sipping my tequila soda, singing along. That chorus when she's like, rev my engine till I make it purr, keep it kinky but I comfort. It's so good. I'm obsessed. Also, the little Mean Girls nod, get in loser, let's go for a joyride. It's so good. It's so fun. I love Kesha. I'm so happy that she is finally releasing her music, not tied to Dr. Luke. She's doing her own thing, having fun, doing what she does best, party music. She had blue lipstick on at one point. I was like, oh, Kesha is so back. And not with an S, baby. No, no, no. The dollar sign. This is key dollar sign ha. Anybody remember Kingsley back in the day? That's where my brain not really started. Key dollar sign ha is back, and I am living for it. I love the song. So much fun. When I first put it on and it has that intro and then it goes into the song, I was like, where are we going with this? But I kind of love that. It was kind of a journey. It was fun. Again, fun pop music is back. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait for the rest of this project. Kesha is so back, and so am I. Moving on to our upcoming releases from this week. Again, only one, but it packs a punch. It is a mighty comeback, and it is Katy Perry, Woman's World. The reason this is a little, topsy-turvy tea time is because while Kesha is releasing her first song without Dr. Luke, Katy is putting a song out that is produced by Dr. Luke. And now, I've told you guys, we've talked about it. I understand separating yourself from music of a person that you don't support. I get it. I am not thrilled about this either. I am not, I'm not thrilled to be listening to a song that I know is produced by Dr. Luke. That being said, I can't not listen to a Katy Perry single. Like, like, I've had this discussion. That being said, Katy Perry's comeback single, Woman's World, drops actually tomorrow, so the 11th. Well, tomorrow for you guys when you're listening to this. It drops on July 11th. There's a whole, go on her Twitter, her Instagram, there's a whole time, like, breakdown, because it comes out at, like, 7 o'clock New York time. Again, I don't get why artists are doing these weird time drops, but I guess whatever works, you do you. I'll be listening. I'm excited. She dropped a teaser for the music video. It's very much like girl power, Rosie the Riveter. She's almost like she's paying a nod to lunch atop of a skyscraper. That photo from like the 1920s of all the men on that like beam building the skyscraper having lunch. Like is very much giving, is a woman's world. Hear me roar. Rosie the Riveter. Girl power, that kind of vibe, which we love, very excited. We will chat about it next week. I'm very excited. Music video, new single, the whole vibe. Katy is coming and I can't wait. It's again, it is a woman's world and I am happy to be living it. So I cannot wait for that. That being said, that wraps up all of our new music releases from last week, this coming week, and I have exciting news. If you listened to last week's episode, I was saying how I have not updated the Drew releases playlist on Spotify or Apple Music in months. It was so long overdue. Actually, I went into it and I was like, Oh, it's been since like March. It's been a minute. So I didn't do all my homework, but Apple Music is all updated. Spotify, I'm working on. I'm getting there. I use Apple Music, so it's just easier for me to like add the songs quick. Spotify, I have to like go onto the desktop, do the whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I will get to Spotify eventually. When it's updated, I will let you guys know. But Apple Music listeners, she is out. She is updated. So if you are interested in listening to my favorite releases so far from the year, you can go check that out. It is linked in the link in my bio on Instagram. And that being said, moving right along into some more pop culture news, still on the topic of music, but just kind of shifting from releases and onto the Billboard Hot 100 this week, which, if you know, I don't typically care about the Billboard Hot 100. It's exciting and cool to look at. Like, I like to see what people are listening to. I like to see where artists come in, like, how things are performing, but it doesn't dictate, like, if I think a song is good or worth listening to. I think it's just a chart, and like sometimes it's right to me, sometimes it's wrong. Like I don't let it dictate what I enjoy and what I listen to and like what adds value to an album. I think a lot of people really let album charts and like numbers weigh in on their opinion of an artist, of an album, of a project, and I just think that's like a different form of mental illness. So take that with what you will. But this week, we had the second Black artist in history ever hit a #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, and that is no other than Shaboozey, which, if you are not familiar with Shaboozey, he is featured on Cowboy Carter, and he has literally been on and up since being on Cowboy Carter, which is just so incredible. That being said, he is the second artist of color to do this, only second to Beyonce, who did this with Texas Hold'em back in February. So this year we are already breaking some records, which is so exciting, but also a little crazy that like it's 2024 and we are just having the first two artists of color hitting #1 in the Billboard Hot 100s. That's another story for another day, for another topic, because like that just that is a damn shame. It like doesn't compute in my head. Like I, let me not. Let me not. Sounds about white. But that being said, congratulations, Shaboozey. I think this is so cool, especially being that Beyonce just broke this record in February and he is featured on the album in which she got her first #1 and broke this record. And now, a few months later, his single is now hitting #1 in the Billboard charts and just making more history. So cool. I love to see artists of the magnitude of Beyonce lifting up other artists and kind of giving them a platform to have this ability to break these records. Loving that. So cool. And also on the Billboard Hot 100 this week, Chappell Roan had her first top 10 hit, Good Luck Babe. She is just continuing to have the most insane growth I have ever seen. Like, this is crazy. The way that she is just hitting these charts. Her album that came out almost a year ago is all rising to the Hot 100 charts. Like, it is incredible. It is so cool. So yes, Good Luck Babe was #10 on the Billboard Hot 100 this week. I think her album was #2 in the country. Like, it's nuts. It is insane. It is so well deserved. We have no choice but to stan. Moving along, some other kind of music news, but also some podcast news, but also some movie news. Miss Ariana Grande was on an episode of Shut Up Evan, which is Evan Ross Katz podcast, which if you're not listening to that podcast, you're missing out. Evan is such a good interviewer. He brings such good questions and he has such good relationships with his guests. And this episode was no exception. It was honestly one of my favorite Ariana interviews I've ever listened to. It was so good. You could really tell that they have a really true and genuine friendship more than anything. Like, it wasn't just like a professional press junket kind of thing. And I think that's what sets him apart, Evan. He makes sure that he knows these people. He has a relationship. He's not just going into it to like slap somebody's name on his podcast and be like, I interviewed Ariana Grande. Like, it felt like I was listening in on a FaceTime between the two of them, which is kind of always my goal with this podcast too. I always want this to kind of feel like you're listening to your pop culture best friend tell you what's going on in pop culture via FaceTime, and he just does it in such a perfect way. It's honestly inspiring to listen to. Like, I love his podcast. That being said, Ariana was spilling some tea on this podcast, and we are going to chat about just a few tidbits. If you haven't listened, seriously, I would take the hour and listen to it. It was so good. If you're a fan of Ariana, if you're not, just a solid interview. But I think one of the biggest things really is that she is confirming there is an Eternal Sunshine Deluxe somewhere on the horizon. Didn't say when, didn't say how many songs, but she did tell us that there was going to be a very specific rollout, which I love a rollout, so that is very exciting to me. And I've already loved the Eternal Sunshine rollout. We've talked about it a bit, especially with the Boy Is Mine single coming out and the remix. I think she's doing such a perfect job with this rollout. If she's making it a long rollout, but she's not doing it in a way that's like shoving it down our throats. She kind of goes away for a bit and then comes back, releases another single, a remix, maybe some merch, and then she kind of goes away. She goes into Wicked mode, REM Beauty. She kind of like puts it on the back burner. She's shuffling around her project in a way that's just, it's making it seem very organic, and it's still getting people excited when she is releasing these singles. So I think whatever she has in store for a deluxe version is going to be just as good. I'm very excited. She did say that the last song of the deluxe ones is one of her favorite songs she has ever written. So I'm very excited for that. Eternal Sunshine is my favorite Ariana Grande project that she's released. I think it is truly her best work, and I'm so excited that she is still playing into this era. She's still kind of like, I say dragging it out, but I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it like she is really making the most of it and not doing it in a way that's so down our throats. You know what I mean? So I love that. She also teased that she is planning to do a mini tour between the Wicked movies. So sometime between, I guess, November, December of this year and November, December of next year, she wants to do a mini tour. Not sure where, not sure what size. Sign me up. I will be there. I remember back when she released Sweetener, she did the Sweetener sessions and it was like tiny venues. In New York, she did Irving Plaza. The resale was crazy back then, so I'm sure it's going to be even crazier now. But I spent a pretty penny on that ticket because I was not missing a small, intimate Ariana Grande show. That still holds true. Whatever she has in store for this mini tour, whether it means big venues and a small amount of dates, small venues and a big amount. I don't know what it means. Count me in. I will be there. Sign me up for the pre-sale now. Very exciting. I just, pop star Ariana, there's nothing like it. I know that, she loves to act. She loves her Broadway. She loves her this. She loves her that. Get the bitch back on stage. She like, after seeing those Met Gala videos, I'm like, girl, we need pop star Ariana back. Put the ponytail in. Put your knee-high boots on. Let's get this fucking show on the road. I am so excited for that, to hear some of these new songs live. She keeps bringing up this whole, like, I guess Evan brought it up, but, like, the whole voice switching thing and how people had such a problem with her doing that when she was on Penn Badgley's podcast. And she said, again, I think she's doing this in such a perfect way where she's like, I literally was playing a character for 2 years where I was completely method acting. Like, she dedicated her entire life to being Glinda. And she made a really good point. She said, when men go into method acting, everybody praises them. Everybody's like, oh my God, he is so dedicated to his art. He is such a fantastic actor. But when a woman does it, when Ariana Grande does it, she has a black scent and she's switching her voice, she's switching personalities. And like, it's just that double-edged sword of like, women can't fucking win. Like, it really is consistently, oh, men can do something and it's great. Women do it and you're wrong. We hate you. You're a whore. You're a this. You're a that. Like, it really is crazy. And I love that she is just like, I don't care. Fuck off. Like, I'm doing what I have to do. Who cares? And then the final sprinkle on top of this perfect podcast, they call no other than Miss Jennifer Coolidge, who, I mean, I just declared 4th of July, National Jennifer Coolidge Day. So, like, clearly she is at the forefront of all of our minds. She deserves a holiday. And they called her in. They have a group chat, which I love. And they phoned Jennifer Coolidge. It was very much, what if you just called Taylor up? And it was now the three of them just chit-chatting on the podcast. It was so cute. You could tell that, like, Jennifer genuinely loves the two of them so much. She genuinely always credits Ariana for her success. She says, like, after being in the Thank You Next video, my career took such a turn. And I think that it's so cute that she isn't afraid to like say that to Ariana and be like, you've revived my career. You have literally helped me build a whole new fan base, like get my career going again. And it's Jennifer Coolidge. Who doesn't love Jennifer Coolidge? You know what I mean? So loved that. This was just like a perfect interview. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a perfect conversation between two friends who were still, getting the info, giving us some insight of like what's to come for Ariana and, giving us that like media side of it, but while still giving us that fun personality. And you can really tell that her and Evan have a true, genuine friendship. I loved it. It was great. Ariana Grande, they could never make me hate you. And that's that on that. Speaking of somebody else that they could never make me hate, Miss Sabrina Carpenter. Also, speaking of perfect album rollouts, this short and sweet rollout, I am loving it. This whole vintage retro vibe she's doing with like the VHS style tapes, she is killing this rollout. I am loving it. And of course, Miss Sabrina is keeping us fed through this perfect album rollout. And today we got the short and sweet track list. So let's run through track by track. Track number 1 is Taste, which is something you have if you're listening to Sabrina Carpenter. Track number 2, We Know and Love, Please, Please, Please. Track number 3, Good Graces. Track number 4, Sharpest Tool. Track number 5, Coincidence. Track 6, Bed Chem. Track number 7, smash hit Espresso. We love her. Track number 8, this is the one I think I'm most excited about, Dumb and Poetic. Like, yeah, very much that. Track number 9, Slim Pickens. Track number 10, Juno. Track 11, Lie to Girls. And track 12, Don't Smile. So I don't, there's a lot that you can take from these. Track 6, Bed Chem. Clearly she's talking about, her chemistry and the bedistry. So we will see what's to come from that. But it's just exciting. Not sure if there's going to be any features. It doesn't seem like there will be. I feel like she would have announced it with the track list, but who knows? Maybe she'll give us a surprise later on. Regardless, I cannot wait for this album. It's going to be so good. It's also like one of the first albums in history to ever get a billion streams before it even comes out. Between the two songs, she has a billion streams for this album, which is crazy. That is so many people listening to Espresso and Please, Please, Please. That is crazy. Sabrina Carpenter, you deserve the world. And yeah, I'm just very excited for this album. I cannot wait. The way that she is just like taking over the world right now, it's truly incredible. I love it. And it really is all thanks to Miss Hannah Montana. What a segue. If you do not know what I'm talking about, if you do not know, Rolling Stone just released an article this week that said, Welcome to the Hannah Montana generation of pop music. Pretty much giving Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana their flowers for raising an entire generation of pop stars. And you know what? It is about damn time that Miss Miley and Miss Hannah get their flowers for all that they have done for the community. Like, not only did Miley release killer music as Miley Cyrus from 16 years old and on, Hannah Montana has killer music. Even though it was like a Disney Channel show, it was music for a TV show, you're gonna look at me and tell me like, Pumping Up the Party, True Friend, We Got the Party With Us. Like, you're gonna tell me these songs aren't bangers, and if they came on at a club, on a playlist, in a workout class, out in public, you wouldn't shake ass? Because you are absolutely lying. Like, let's be serious for a second. Hannah Montana has hits like your fave could never, and I am so happy to see that she is finally getting her flowers. She truly did raise a generation of pop girls. The article goes on to say that we are living in such a fun era of pop music right now because of Hannah Montana, and honestly, like, argue with the wall, they are correct. They go on to say how Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, Jojo Siwa have all drawn inspiration from Hannah Montana and from Miley Cyrus in their careers, and like, it where's the lie? Where is the lie? Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus truly raised a generation of pop stars, of gay men, of teenage girls. Like, to say that her impact isn't everlasting through the pop music space it would just be like, it would be a disservice to humanity. Let's be real. Tell me you don't remember where you were when Miley was sitting on her roof and had to pick between Jake and Jesse on Hannah Montana. Tell me you don't remember where you were when Miley Stewart ripped her Hannah wig off in front of the entire town of Crowley Corners and swore to them that they needed to keep her secret. Tell me you don't remember where you were the first time you saw the Hannah Montana closet, because I know for a fact I was gagged and gooped, and if you're gonna sit there and act like you weren't, you're lying. And like, why lie? You know what I mean? Like, we are living in a Hannah Montana pop music generation. Get with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this article, it is just so validating. You guys know, Miley is my girl. Reading this article, I was like, well, yes, Hannah Montana did, in fact, raise me and a generation of pop girls to come. And we just love to see it. We love to see flowers being given where flowers are deserved. Moving on into our next topic is something that when I saw, I gasped so loud on the subway, I probably scared the entire subway car, but it's big. The Devil Wears Prada is getting a sequel, and as of about an hour ago, it is confirmed that not only Meryl and Emily are back for the movie, Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci are in talks to be back for the movie. And I mean, between Freaky Friday getting a sequel, The Devil Wears Prada getting a sequel, like my cup has runneth over. I am like, what more? What more could I ask for? I am just, they are serving me content that I am just like, this is perfect. What more? It's a woman's world. Like Katy Perry said, like, I am so excited. So when I saw this get announced, I immediately was like, all right, well, The Devil Wears Prada is based on a book. Is there a book sequel? And there is. It's called Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns, but it doesn't seem like the book and the movie are following the same plot. So as of now, the plot of the movie is Miranda Priestley's career is going into a decline, which forces her to go head to head with Emily Blunt's character, now a major executive at a luxury group who Miranda needs advertising dollars from, which, let's just cut to the chase. In what world is Miranda Priestley going under and like failing in business? You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't fit my fantasy. So already I'm just like, uh, in what world? But you know, I'm not gonna knock it. It's still gonna be Meryl. It's going to be great. But I'm very excited. It's just gonna be so exciting to like see the cast back together. Obviously, it's in very early stages. The movie came out in 2006, so it would be kind of cool if they released it in 2026. Like, I could wait for the sequel a little bit, especially getting Freaky Friday next year. Like, take your time. That's a lot for me to handle personally in 1 year. So I think if they do take the extra year, it would just be like a perfect way to celebrate 20 years of the movie. So excited. Meryl and Emily are both confirmed to be back. Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci, like I said, are rumored. So we will see. I mean, even if it's just like a cameo from Anne Hathaway, I feel like they have to. And I mean, obviously we need Stanley Tucci back in it. He literally was like the saving grace for Andy in the movie. So very excited for this. Very excited to see where this goes. The fact that this is even happening in and of itself is just like mind blowing. And that is not the only Devil Wears Prada news that we have, because if you have not been seeing the clips that the West End production of The Devil Wears Prada on Broadway has been sharing, oh my God. If you see me in London seeing this production, mind your business, because I think I might have to book a trip to London to see Vanessa Williams as Miranda Priestley. She was on GMA sometime this week and she was just talking about the production, and she pretty much just broke into reciting the entire cerulean monologue, which I mean, pretty much changed the chemistry of my brain. And she said that there's going to be a lot of nods to Miranda's original script in the movie. In the production rather, her first number is called House of Miranda, and the last line in the song is literally, that's all, which like, oh, I think I'm gonna have to book a trip. Like, I think I have to go to London to see this show because, like, I mean, the music's by Elton John, obsessed. Vanessa Williams literally played Wilhelmina Slater in Ugly Betty, obsessed. It's also just Vanessa fucking Williams, obsessed. Like, when you see me in London in October, November, December, whenever it ends up being, mind your business. I'm on a business trip. I'm there for us. I'm there for the culture. You know what I mean? Like, it's rumored to come to Broadway next year, but I have this fear that Vanessa won't be Miranda in it on Broadway. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. I don't know if that's a risk I'm willing to take. Like, I don't know if it comes to Broadway, I'll obviously see it with or without Vanessa Williams, but like, I don't know if I could like I would literally hate myself if I just waited for it to come to regular Broadway and Vanessa Williams ends up not being Miranda in it. I would hate myself. Like I would truly think I would regret it for the rest of my life. So stay tuned for that, because I think I'm gonna have to make my way over to the West End. I've also never been to London and it's on my bucket list. So like it just like the stars are aligning. We'll chat. We'll see what happens. I also feel like there's just so many movies coming out, so much content being made. Today they announced that Shrek 5 is going to be released in 2026. Eddie Murphy is back, Mike Myers is back, Cameron Diaz is back, which like I didn't even know that Shrek 5 was something that was on the table. I grew up with Shrek. Obviously, I'm a 90s kid, I'm an early 2000 kid. I loved Shrek, so this is very exciting, very nostalgic. I will be seated for that. Also, this new Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain movie, Mother's Instinct, looks incredible. And then today we got the first poster for We Live in Time, which is the new A24 movie starring Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. We get the trailer tomorrow, today, the day that you're listening to it. There are just so many movies coming out. I'm very excited. I feel like we are getting like this resurgence of movies lately. There's just been, I mean, pretty much since like Barbenheim summer, like there has just been like an upcome of movies. I am so excited. I love going to the movies. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I don't go enough, but whenever I do, I'm like, I need to do this more. And that's one of my things that I'm like trying to do more in the latter half of the year. It's just like go to the movies, enjoy a movie. Streaming is great, streaming is fun, but there is nothing like going to a movie theater, getting your popcorn, sitting down, and just like enjoying a good flick. I am very excited for the movies that are on the horizon, but with that, no switching from movies over to TV, we have made it to our TV recap section of the show. And this week we are adding in a new one to the bunch, which is so exciting. I've been recapping RuPaul's Drag Race every week. I've been recapping the Kardashians a little bit here and there when it seems necessary. But this week, Owning Manhattan on Netflix aired, which I love Selling Sunset. I love Selling the OC. I've been recapping those as long as we're doing the podcast. So this only feels right that I'm recapping this, especially because it is doing it in my city, and I am loving this show so far. It is really, really good. At the end of the episode, the first one, it said produced by World of Wonder, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. If you don't know, they produce everything Drag Race related, so of course it's catered to the gays. I was like, okay, this makes sense why I like it so much because they're doing it for us, you know what I mean? So I am loving this show so far. So first and foremost, seeing these homes in the city are absolutely fucking insane. Like I know people are rich here, but there is a level of wealth that is just seems so insanely unobtainable. And I am just like, how the fuck are you affording this penthouse in the Plaza Hotel? It is mind blowing to me, and I love seeing it. It is so cool. Trisha Lee could literally sell me air. I would buy oxygen from her. She is such a killer saleswoman. When she was giving that pitch to the guy for why she should get the Brooklyn building that they're trying to sell, I was like, I would give it to her in a heartbeat. I would give it to her 2 sentences in. I was like, oh, it's hers. She is sold. I'm kind of obsessed. She's kind of mother. Chloe is nuts. Chloe is literally insane. And I'm just like, she's just not a girl's girl. She is completely screwing over Jade. It is just like, not the vibe, not into it, not loving that. I'm loving Savannah. I think she is so sweet, a little Southern Belle. We love that. She just seems like she's really eager to learn and really eager to just like chase whatever possibility she can. And I love that. You can tell that she's like really ready to be dedicated to what she does. She wants to be selling real estate. She wants to be doing this. And I think for her, like, spoiler alert, she's looking at other agencies to switch to. And honestly, like, if you got to do what you got to do, you know what I mean? Especially in a real estate world where like it is so competitive. So I don't know. I'm excited to see like where she ends up. People are eating her up on TikTok right now. Loving that. I am also absolutely loving Jade. I've actually met her 2 or 3 times, I want to say. I have a friend who is childhood friends with her. They grew up together. They're still really, really close friends. Again, I've met her a few times in passing. She was very, very nice. But her doing an Anna Delvey art gallery is so iconic. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, that's my girl. I love her. Obsessed with that. Also, very curious to see where her storyline goes. Spoiler alert, she is revealing to us that her husband has cheated on her, and I'm hoping that by the end of the season, she has filed for divorce. Things are done so, but we will see. We're on episode, I think, like 5 right now, so nothing too new yet, but we will see as the season progresses, but loving that. That Anna Delvey art gallery was truly just like so iconic. Obsessed. And then just the final thing to wrap up Owning Manhattan. So far, we're on episode 5 or 6, I want to say. So we have a little bit more to go, but we've seen the podcast that Jessica and Jonathan did, and the way that they think that nothing negative was going to come from that, or like maybe they knew something negative would come from it, but they just didn't care. Clearly, they don't care. Like to go on company property using company equipment to talk shit about agents in the company. And then when you were told, hey, you need to go apologize to the agents that you talk shit about, and you use that apology to just be a bigger dick and be an asshole, I can't. I cannot. I'm very excited to see how this plays out. The previews for the rest of the season look insane. I'm very excited. If anybody else is watching, let me know. Shoot me a DM. Let's chat about it because I'm into the show. I'm really, really liking it. And that is Owning Manhattan so far. Moving on to the Kardashians, not much to recap again. This was a good episode. I did like it. They were in Aspen. They just had like a girls' family trip, whatever. But if you are interested in seeing Kim Kardashian and Gypsy Rose meet, this Thursday, the episode comes out. I am so excited. We will absolutely be recapping the Gypsy Rose episode next week. I cannot wait. And if you're on board with the Gypsy Rose news, stay tuned because we still have some Gypsy news to talk about. But moving on to Drag Race. This episode of All Stars 9 was the best episode of the season so far. Oh my god, it was in fucking incredible. I love a musical to begin with, but the level that these girls brought it to with this episode, it was incredible. So it's a new day in the workroom. Rue enters and tells them they are doing a musical. It is called Rosemaries Baby Shower, which is a play on Rosemary's Baby, a horror film. It's like a camp culty classic kind of movie from the 60s. And the winner of this challenge get not one, but two badges. So they get one to keep and one to give away. So there was a lot at stake this week. So we then go into seeing the fact that the girls have to pick their parts, and pretty much everybody gets the part that they want, except for Angeria and Nina. They are both battling for Dr. Poltergeist, and they end up picking from a hat. Nina gets the part. Granted, Angeria was cut off, so she couldn't get a badge anyway. So I kind of am like, it's fine if you don't get the part you want. But I am very proud of her for sticking her ground. She was like, I'm not just giving it to you because you're Nina West and you're a Broadway girl. Like, absolutely not. So they end up picking from a hat. They could have done an audition. I think that would have been made more sense and kind of more true to a musical, but whatever. It is what it is. So Nina gets the part, and then we go into this musical, Rosemary's Baby Shower. It was incredible. Dare I say top three musicals of the entire franchise? It was so good. The looks, the music, the choreo, all the girls performed to the top notch, not even a 10 out of 10. It was like a 15 out of 10 for everybody. Let's get into it. If you're unfamiliar with Rosemary's Baby, essentially this woman is giving birth to a baby who is the devil. It is like an evil baby, and now this musical, the play on it, is now this is Rosemary's Baby Shower. So everybody attending the baby shower are like icons in the horror space, which is so sick and twisted, and exactly why I love Drag Race. It is just, they are so stupid and so funny, and they do such a good job at playing up stupid. So good. So let's get into these roles. Plastique was Rosemary, so she was the main role, pretty much, the star of the show, but everybody was the star. This was such a good musical. Oh my god. She killed it. First and foremost, Plastique stayed in character the entire time. She gave a little Plastique when she could, but she still played into the campiness, played into the horror side of it. She was phenomenal. Angeria and Chanel were playing Ruth and Sydney, so they were like the landlords of the apartment, in character the entire time. Nailed New York landlords. Like they literally, that is who I rented my apartment from. Like they nailed it down to a T. Gottmik playing fucking The Grudge. How did they make her wig spin around like that? How the fuck did her wig literally spin 360 by Charlie XCX around her head? It was so funny. The rhinestone and glittery vomit down her mouth, so fucking funny. And she was in a nightgown and still was serving cunt. Like, that is so hard to do. Fucking cessed. Georges played Morgan, which is Megan. Insane. Incredible. Seeing her earlier in the episode being like, I'm a little nervous to play an AI doll. I don't want to be too robotic, but I still want to be robotic, but still show my dance moves. She killed it. She was literally made to play this part. It was truly incredible. I was watching it and my jaw was literally on the floor. I had to pick my jaw up because it was just so stupid, so funny, so good. I loved it. Next up, we had Roxy playing Pennywise, obviously Pennywise. It looked nothing like Roxy, and I was so impressed. It literally looked like it was the fucking clown from the movie. I was like, that is not Miss Thick and Juicy Roxy Andrews under there, but sure enough, it was. She killed it. This was just, it was so good. Everybody was so good. Nina West, I mean, she's a Broadway girl. Of course she's going to kill any role she's in. She was Dr. Poltergeist. So good, so funny. Again, this is what Nina does, so no shocker that she killed this challenge. And then last up, Miss Vanjie, Rosemary's Baby, the real, the devil herself. She was the last character that we meet in this musical. She was the last person to enter the scene, the last person to put the bow on top of the present. She stole the show in her scene. She was incredible. She looked so good. She sounded incredible. She was just on her A game. It was so good. This was truly as a theater kid, it warmed my heart seeing these sick and demented horror girls have their moment on the stage. It was so good. Not only was the musical incredible, the runway was so good. Like I said, this is my favorite episode of the season so far. It was incredible. The theme was Bring Back My Pearls. Hilarious. Plastique starts us off, and I mean, when doesn't she serve? She is truly giving us one of the best runway packages we have ever seen on Drag Race, and this was no exception. The way that her arms controlled the kind of like shell vibe around it, her face, it is just to a level that is so insanely good and perfect. And just like there is never a thing out of place. The outfit is always perfect. The makeup is always perfect. The concept is always perfect. It is incredible. This bitch is spending money, honey, on these outfits. Speaking of money, honey, Angeria came out looking like $6 million. That full coat to the floor, the fur or osage, whatever it was, feather coat. She takes it off. She reveals this like gorgeous little stunning pearl dress. So good. You guys know I adore Angeria. Next up, we kind of took a different spin, not the like rich pearl kind of feel. Chanel came out very fun, very campy. I was watching the pit stop and Jan said it was very club kid and she just walked up the set of Party Monster. It was so fun, very different, just like fun. And again, Chanel can sell anything. Chanel could walk down the runway wearing a hefty bag and I would be like, well, yes, exactly. Like she gives the moment. It was so good. And sticking on the theme of not doing the traditional pearl kind of vibe, Genius from Gottmik, she went with the black pearl, and the details of this outfit were so good. She just, again, somebody who just does drag to a level that is so insanely incredible. Like, she doesn't miss a beat. She never slips. She always looks good. There is always a concept. It is always fully carried out. She plays the part. Like, she knows her references. She knows her look. She knows her body. She is an all-star. She truly is the definition of a drag all-star. Another drag all-star, obviously Miss Roxy Andrews. She was serving body yada yada on the runway. It was very much like season 5. Roxy just kind of like a cute, skimpy little dress showing off her body. Was it the most groundbreaking outfit I've ever seen? No, but it's Roxy Andrews. I'm going to eat it up with a spoon every single time. Loved it. Georges, it was good. It was safe. It wasn't anything crazy. She still looked great. She killed it in the Rusical though, so she could have walked out there wearing a leotard with 2 pearls on her nipples, and I would have been like, yep, she ate. She deserves to win. Spoiler alert. But I did love her hair. I thought the hair was really, really cool, the way the pearls kind of ran through it. A lot of the girls went with this like sculpted look in the hair with the pearls kind of outlining it, which I thought was a really cool and fun way to incorporate them into the outfits. Nina West was so close to being so good, but it's just something about it wasn't right. I don't know what it was. It wasn't bad, but it just was like almost unfinished or like just wasn't fully conceptualized. I don't know. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't. It was so close to being really, 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 really good. And it just like missed that mark and completely threw it for me, if that makes sense. Thought the hair was cool. I thought like the concept was there, but it could have just been more. And I also didn't really get pearl from it. There were obviously pearls throughout it, but it didn't like the other girls came out and it screamed pearl. It was literally giving like, is there something on my face? It was giving pearl, like it was very much giving it. And it didn't scream pearl to me. And then Vanessa Vanjie Mateo turned the corner. And if you want to talk about screaming pearl, mother of pearl, this bitch has never looked better in her fucking life. From the makeup to the hair to the outfit to the shell around her head, this girl, I, I put that outfit in a museum. It was a work of art. This was a great week for Vanjie, a killer week to be Vanessa Vanjie Mateo. She absolutely knocked it out of the park. This season is great too, but this episode specifically, chef's kiss. I fucking loved it. We then find out that Georges and Chanel end up winning. Again, everybody did so good this episode. It really could have been anybody's game. They end up lip syncing to Love Come Home, which is by Christine W., who is the guest judge, and it's a tie. First time this season. Typically, there's only one tie per season, and I'm guessing this is it. We're also probably rounding to the end of the season, so you got to use it somewhere. So finally, Chanel wins a badge, and the way that everybody was so excited for Chanel was so cute. You can tell this season really is such a sisterhood. Maybe it's because of the charity. Maybe they all just genuinely do really like each other. I don't know what it is. they all, when Chanel got announced as the winner, the look on everybody else's face was so excited. You could feel it through the camera. It was so cute. So Georgia and Chanel both win two badges, one for themselves and one to give away to somebody else. And in a shocking turn of events, they give the second badge to each other. So not only did they both just get a badge for winning, they also both just got $5,000 for their charities. And now Chanel has two badges, and Georges is in the front running with four badges. Georges went from having two badges, being like in the bottom half of the season, to being a front runner in one episode. That is gaggy. I cannot wait to see how the girls react to this next week. Again, this season is so fucking good. I'm loving it. Next week is a lip sync Lollapalooza. I need Roxy to keep her title of winning every lip sync she's ever done and just continue to kill these lip syncs. I am so excited. The girls on this season, Vanjie, Roxy, Georges, Angeria, Chanel, like there are some killer lip syncers on this season. I am so excited for this lip sync Lollapalooza. Of course, we will talk about it next week. And with that, it is bringing us to the final segment of the show, my yes and my mess of the week. If you are new here, I end every single show with a yes and a mess of the week. My yes being something I'm loving, and my mess being something I'm not loving. So we always start on a high note, so let's kick it off with my yes. And there are some congratulations in order. I teased it a little bit earlier when I was talking about the Kardashians this week, but our girl, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, is pregnant. This is the craziest news. I mean, we all kind of predicted she was going to kind of be on like a high speed into her future once she got out of jail. She would get married, she would do this, like have her whole thing. Was a baby like the number one thing on my list for her? No. Am I that surprised? Yes and no. I'm like back and forth. I'm not totally shocked that she's expecting already. I'm more shocked that she's expecting with her new man, that is her ex-man from before her previous man. Like she already is pregnant with this guy after she just like I don't even know if the divorce is final with Ryan. And now her and Ken are expecting a baby. Very crazy. I think what's the most like exciting and like really cool is that her body has been through a lot. Her mom put her through hell and she is now able to conceive a child and carry it. I mean, obviously, fingers crossed, hoping for a healthy pregnancy, everything goes good and like smooth, but like she seems to be in good health. She was obviously able to get pregnant if the baby is due in January, I believe. So that means she is what? August, September, October, November, December, January. She's 6 months along. Oh my God. So that means she got pregnant 3 months ago. When did her and Ryan split? I don't know if her and Ryan have been separated for 3 months yet. They might have been. Time has been flying pretty fast, but that is some interesting math. I'm gonna have to look into that. But that's kind of tea. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. Regardless, congratulations, Miss Gypsy Rose. This is so exciting. And also like what what? I don't know. When I saw this, I literally deleted my yes and I was like, Gypsy Rose pregnancy is my yes this week. You guys know I love her. I will always continue to root and rally for Miss Gypsy Rose. And switching over to my mess for the week, it's more so just like an ongoing narrative online, I guess. There's a lot going on online, I feel like, of people just having too much to say. And I know that's what the internet is there for. I literally host a podcast. I obviously have too much to say, but specifically with this Haktua girl, and I'll be completely honest, I don't really know who the fuck she is either. She had a viral video. She went on stage with Zach Bryan. She quit her job, moved to LA, has management, and now she's like trying to do this influencer thing. And I understand where like people would have reservations and like, why the fuck are you quitting your job, moving across the country, hiring management, and trying to be a full-time influencer after one viral video? But also like, why the fuck do you all care? There has been so much negativity on my For You page, on my timeline, like everywhere, just being like, this girl is so stupid. She quit her full-time job to go be an influencer in LA after one viral video. It's never gonna last. It da da da, this, that, and the third. Why does it affect you? Is it affecting your paycheck every week? Is it affecting your day-to-day life? No. So shut the fuck up. And I'm not even sitting here to be like, oh my God, she's hilarious. I love her. I honestly don't know anything about the girl. I know she had a viral video. I know she's like doing her thing now. Like, I know very surface level about this girl, but like, why do you care? Why are people so panini pressed that this girl is trying to capitalize on this moment? You never know what is going to happen from a viral moment. As long as you play it right, you could really turn it into something. Look at Brittany Broski. She literally went viral from drinking kombucha, and now she is fucking Brittany Broski, all because she was drinking kombucha on TikTok. Like, you could do a lot with one viral video, and the way that everybody is just being so negative and nasty and like hoping that she fails, stop worrying about other people. It's just like, I understand it's the internet and people are going to have unwarranted opinions, but like, the negativity behind some of the things that go viral online is so, I don't even know, just so wild to me. It just does not make any sense. I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. Hawk to a girl. I hope you end up being the next Alex Earl. I hope you have years and years of viral moments and live your best fucking life in LA with your new management. And I hope you go back on stage with Zach Bryan. Because you know what? Prove these bitches wrong. I would love to see in a year or two her having like a business, her having a huge brand deals, going on the Tarte trip, going to Coachella for free. Like, I hope she flourishes in the influencer space only because the way everybody is being so negative to her hoping for success. And with that, that is the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Too Pop to Handle. If you like what you heard and you're listening to us at a podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating, leave me a review, let me know what you're thinking. It really does help the show if you leave a rating. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, leave us a 5-star, leave us a rating. It really is like the best way to help a podcast. So if you're liking what you heard, which I hope you are, make sure you hit those 5 stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, drop a comment. You know the drill. There's so many things you can do on YouTube. Do them all except for dislike, all right? And I say it every single week. If you send this episode to one friend, everybody sends it to one friend, I will double in listeners. And if you would like to follow me on social media, we are at 2pop the handle on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, I am there. You can follow myself. I am at Andrew Nucatola on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, I'm yapping on it. And with that, I will catch you guys next week. Bye!